Hi, it's Carly McAvoy. I want to show you how to use the Virtual Biology Lab site. You're going to get to that by clicking on the link in the assignment. So when you come in here, I want everyone in the class to set their settings the same for the pond size. I want you to make that medium and the population size make that large. Click on setup to kind of choose those. And then I like to use a medium sized net because if you use a large net, you can get a really big sample, and you have to mark each one of those independently. So my suggestion is use a small or a medium net. I don't care which one of those you use, but whatever you use for your first trial, use the same for second and third trial. Just be consistent throughout your 3 trials. So I'm going to show you how to do a trial. You're going to do it 3 times. Once I have the medium thing here, I'm going to click go. Once I have all these set the way I want, and I'm going to click go. And now my little creatures are swimming around in the water. I'm going to dip my net and it's going to put them in this sample bucket. We're not going to use the holding pen for this. So now I need to mark those. You can see that 0 are marked, but 32 are in the bucket. So I'm going to start marking. And I'm going to keep marking every one until I get all of them marked that are in my bucket. So you can imagine that if you had 100 in your bucket, it would take longer. So the big net, you get big numbers in there, so be careful with that. Once I know that I have 32 marked, I'm going to release those back into the population, and now I'm ready to dip my pen again, or my net again. And so what you want to think about is that if you were actually a ranger doing this, you might wait a year and then go back and do this again. So now these fish have had a chance to mingle with all the other fish, so we're going to dip our net, and now you can see that we have 31 in the bucket and 2 of them are marked. So how do we write that then up here? We're going to set up a proportion. I'm going to compare marked to total, and I'm going to say that I had in my bucket, I had 32 marked. I don't know what my population is, so that's what I don't know, the total number. And then I know that the second time when I picked up 31 total in my bucket, that 2 of those were marked. So now I can solve that proportion. You remember how to do that. We're going to cross multiply to get 2t, and then we're going to multiply 31 times 32 to get 992. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 2 to make my estimate about this population. And if I divide by 2, I get an estimate of 496. So you always want to do more than one trial. Rangers do more than one trial because this is not a precise thing, and so we want to take a few trials and then average them. I'm going to do another trial here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that writing. And then I'm going to click go, stop, that makes it quit moving, and I'm going to click setup, and so we go back to setup. I want to make sure I have the same things chosen over here again, and now I'm ready for them to go, and I dip my net. And then I only have this time 14 in my bucket, so I'm going to mark 14, and I'm going to release. So now I'm going to dip my net again. They've had a chance to mingle, and I've got 28 in my bucket, and I have 1 marked. So now I'm going to go back up and do the same thing that I just did. I'm going to compare marked to total. I know that originally I had 14 marked out of my population of T, and I'm going to I have 1 in here out of 28. And so if I cross multiply, I get t, or 1 times t, but that doesn't even matter. And then I have 14 times 28, which is 392. Now remember, in the first one, I had an estimate of 496, and now I have 392. And you're going to do 1 more trial, so do 3 things just the way we did there, reset the whole thing, do it again. And then you're going to take your 3 numbers. 496 was our first estimate for that population. The second one we got 392, and let's say in our third one we estimate 145. It can be really different. It doesn't matter. You'll see what you get. Okay, now my 3, I'm going to divide those, add those 3 up and divide by 3. So you're going to want to show the work for these 3 trials on your paper. There's space on there to do that, so I want to see the work, and I want to see what you set up and what you dipped and got in the bucket, etc. and then divide by 3, and my estimate for the population of this population is 344. Now your group members, your group members are going to do this too. I got 344.33, just round to the whole fish. You have 344, maybe your group member will get 400, maybe another group member will get 280, whatever it is. Then you average your 3 group members, so you actually will have 9 trials. Each person does it 3 times, and then you average that, divide that by 9. And that's going to give you your average for your, what you think is how many fish are in this tank. All right, that's it. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.